Hello, my gardening friends. Welcome to another video update of what's growing in the garden. We are out here in, oh, did you hear that? Exciting the next door dog. There's some wild turkeys out in the woods. So we're out here in the greenhouse. There's my greenhouse. And I got a chair in there and my water. And I wanted to show you what I have growing. Oh, and I guess we'll start outside. So these are some things that I'm trying to get used to the sunshine being on the outside of the greenhouse. And these are shade lettuces. This is peppergrass cress. And this is a lettuce for my new shade area that I'm just starting to work on. And it's nice and sunny out today, so they're soaking in some sunshine. And over here we have artichoke, and this is collard greens. And down here we have some basil. This is lettuce leaf basil. This is a scorpion pepper. That's going to be very, very hot. Black pearl pepper. That's another hot one, and that's an ornamental pepper. Grows like a little tiny pepper like that. And down here we have some chamomile, which the plant last year that I had dropped its seeds, and I repotted this from everywhere it grew in my garden. And here's some what are these? These are English daisies that grow over by the Heart Garden. And I had too many of them, so I split them up and I put them in pots. And then the same thing with the strawberries. I have so many strawberries growing everywhere. I'm going to make another video on strawberries at another time. Talk really about the habits of strawberries. You got to really be prepared for them when you grow strawberries. So we got some other things here. We got valerian root that also dropped its seeds, and wherever I see it in the garden, I pick it up. And if it's in good shape, I put it in a pot. That would be the same thing here with the lemon balm. Somehow, I guess I didn't see that it went to flower and drop seeds, but it must have, because I have that growing in a couple of different places. So this is lemon balm and oregano. Same thing. We got some wild violets there. So these are all things that were growing around the yard that I saw that I put in a pot. This is thyme. We got some Italian oregano there. And then into the greenhouse here, and I love to sit in here. It smells so good. Now these are not doing good. This is eggplant. Some of the eggplant are doing well and some are not. So I'm constantly out here monitoring how much sun they're getting and how much water they need. And I shift them around from shelf to shelf in here, and I'll show you what I have. So over here we have the mustards, all different varieties of mustard greens. And down here we have some more greens, all different varieties to pick from. Right here I started some broccoli and kohlrabi in a tray, and this, I've already picked over it, but some more are growing. This is the broccoli and the kohlrabi that I replanted from that tray. So this is the first group that's growing, and then when it gets to the right stage, then I'll put it in the garden when it can handle being out. I've been keeping these in the greenhouse at night, so I shift these around constantly all day long. Like the tomatoes here, these tomatoes don't look very good. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to grow tomatoes a bunch of different ways, a bunch of different methods. I started these indoors and then I brought them outdoors, and they don't look very good. They're too tall and lanky. So then I started some on these trays in better growing conditions outside, and it was cold last night, so I brought them in last night. And actually I brought all these in last night, and then I just brought them all out. So it is a lot of work. It's a ton of work, but it's getting me to be in shape. Here's all my peppers. Now these are doing well. These these are doing very well from the way that I'm starting those and the timing that I started them. So I'm extremely happy there. This is my little insurance policy here. This is a hybrid tomato that I just got at Home Depot, and I just put it in this bigger pot, and I see it's got a flower on it already. So this has been growing in the greenhouse under the perfect growing conditions. So if none of these make it, I'll at least have one right there. And then these are some other peppers that I started in the house. This is another lettuce leaf basil. That is so beautiful. So I started all these in the house, and now it's warm enough out here in the greenhouse to bring them out to start getting some more green color. And these are all different varieties of peppers. And we've got some okra down here. Got some other greens. Well, this is a soybean. It looks like it's just beginning to pop through there. I soaked those beans overnight in the house, and then I planted them out here. Same thing with the adzuki beans. And I see we got a little guy starting right there. And then we've got some spinach and red garnet mustard greens. I love these greens. I hope I get a lot of them. And I actually did plant a lot, so hopefully I will get a lot. But I never know because we actually have a frost day coming up that I have to prepare for. So all the stuff that I've started will probably have to go in the house. And these are all trays of different kinds of seeds that grow in abundance here that I collect, that I am starting out here with everything else. Here's some more lettuces. Or actually, that's cabbage, that's lettuce. There's some more cabbage over there. This is something that grows out in the yard, and I transplanted that so that I could put it somewhere else. That's a perennial. It's called Snow in Summer, and it is beautiful. And this is curly parsley. I'm going to plant that out somewhere. I love that. And this has been a greenhouse friend. I've been growing this kale in the greenhouse all winter and just watching it grow. It's so nice to come out here. And I do sit out here on my chair, and I put it here. And I just enjoy looking at all my hard work. This is hard work, so I do make sure that I take some time to rest and recharge and recover, because keeping up with all these plants all day long, you can see the soil is getting dry. I just watered all these things, and this guy's not doing good. I gotta figure it out. Okra really likes it hot, apparently. This is the second time I'm trying to grow okra, getting it started. So I think the best way to start okra is directly sowing it into the garden. I'm trying to grow it early, but it doesn't look strong. But we'll see. I mean, these are at least, they're not falling over, so we'll see how they go. I would like them to be shorter with a stronger stem. There's some more lettuces over there. We'll just monitor them and see how they grow. A lot of things I'm growing here are an experiment. So, we already looked over there. I'll take you out here, give you an update on some of the other things that are just starting to pop up and green in. It's really nice to see. Now, this was my happy garden, and a lot of the things that I planted here were just annual, so I had to take them out. And now I'm trying to put perennials in there so that it's not so much work every year. So you can see I've got spots there for perennials that I'm growing, which I've got some out there. So everything is still in the springtime cleanup phase. It doesn't look like it normally looks. It's driving me crazy, actually, but there's all my soil that I'm mixing together. And I just went around and I put a dressing of my compost mixture that I'm making with different things, and I'll have to do a video on that because that's complicated, the way that I'm making this side dressing. So you can see all the plants here have some compost around them, and that is helping them grow. They're in their growth phase now. They're getting the right amount of sun, the right amount of water, and everything is starting to green in and grow. Over here we have our early spring bloomer. That's Gold Dust Alyssum, and I actually took that from the other side of the yard and transplanted it over here. And that one must be a different variety. I'm gonna move that one to a different location. And over here is the strawberries. Like I said, I'm gonna do a separate video on strawberries. Strawberries are a lot of work, but they are so delicious. So we'll keep you updated on the strawberries. Over here, I just planted some asparagus, and I can't wait for that. Now that's an investment in time because it takes a long time to grow, a couple of years. Asparagus is a perennial plant that you can eat. So once you plant it one time, it'll grow and grow and grow and multiply. And right here are chives. I just harvested them for a vinegar that I'm making with a bunch of other different herbs. And here's a lot of the plants that are beginning to grow and green in. This is called baby's breath, and it's beautiful little white flower. Grows in the summer. So here's some more. I have more baby's breath. Some dianthus, and well, I guess Sweet William, call that. And that is daisy, white Shasta daisy. Right here, just coming in, is a mum. That'll come in the fall. So I have a lot of things planted in this area that come up at all different times of year. So right now, everything is just starting to come up and bloom and start showing its color. So this is my favorite time of year because after a long, dark, cold winter, colorless winter, it's absolutely phenomenal to start seeing all this color out here. I love it. I love it. Love coming out here every day. Where's that dog? That dog does bark a lot. But you can see everything is growing in really nice here. I'm very excited. We have lettuces that we come out and eat every day, and kale. There's kale over there. So there's quite a few plants that didn't survive the winter that now I know, and I won't plant them again. And there are some that really thrived, so I'll plant more of them. And I take notes. I keep a journal, so I know what to do from year to year. Because keeping track of all this is becoming quite a job. Here's the garlic. The garlic is doing really well. This has taken off. And over here we have more greens that I planted. So as these greens get bigger, I transplant them into a separate little, well, I do selection, I guess. And, you know, I see which ones are real big and healthy, and I single them out. And I plant them and I put them in the greenhouse and I give them the best growing conditions. And then when they're ready, they get transplanted somewhere in their permanent home, which might be right here in this bed. So we have our peas coming in here. And this is the new and improved trellis structure for the beans and the cucumbers and the peas and everything that grows like a vine. So right here we got our peas coming in, and on the other side we also have peas coming in, so I'll stand back and let you see. So we made this structure much stronger. We redesigned it. Frank and I worked together and talked about, you know, different ways to support it. And, you know, just like the other structure, the idea is going to be I can come in here. I can also put my yoga mat in here and do yoga, and I'll be able to sit down and reach right through and eat my vegetables, meditate, do yoga, whatever, or just walk through here. So we'll keep you up to date on that because I also planted some flowers that are going to vine and grow all around it. So I'll bring you over here to the hoop house. The hoop house is working out great. This is also another area where I start my seedlings to transplant all over the place. You can see I got rows of seedlings beginning to come in. And since I'm having trouble with the tomatoes, I'm trying another way to grow them. And I have just a few selected ones of the seeds I saved from last year. and I'm growing them out here, and every night I close this and I maintain the temperature. The soil temperature on the top is about 80 degrees, so that's what the tomatoes like. So I expect that these tomatoes are going to start popping up any day now. They're not here yet, but I planted them like only 3 or 4 days ago, so we got a couple of days on that. So I got some more greens here. I think you can tell that I like greens. Excuse me. This is my heart garden. I love this. I'm just getting ready to start designing this for this year. Last year I had a lot of basil and eggplant and okra in here, and this year I'm going to do it a little different. There's some perennials that have come up, like there's the English daisies that I moved, and that is an evening primrose. I was thinking about moving that because that doesn't really go with the vibe that I'm trying to create in this bed. So I don't know, I'm still working on it, still designing that. And then over here we have the carrots coming in. They'll flower just like this lettuce is starting to flower now. And some beautiful spinach. I've been eating that like every day. It's so green. I don't know if the camera's catching how green it is, but it's really absolutely beautiful. And that kale right there, that purple kale, I can't say, I don't have enough words in my vocabulary, like positive words. That kale is so beautiful. You can see the leaves here. I don't know if you can see them. I mean, look at that. Look at these. I think these might be 2 different kinds. No, these all have to be the same variety. I think this is the scarlet kale. Oh, wow, look at that. It's just beautiful. And it tastes delicious. Absolutely delicious. So, I'll take you over here to the medicine garden because a lot of stuff is beginning to grow in, and I'm very excited to see things are growing in over there too. Oh, that's new. So I don't know if we're going to have this done this year. We're going to try. We got 2 more beds that we're putting over here. We have a really good amount of sunshine over here, and I'm trying to also put in a row of corn right here. I want to make this into a little doghouse in there. I'm trying to fix the kids used to have sand in there, but they don't play in there anymore. And I thought I could do something with that, make a doghouse. But I'm going to try a row of corn here because we have a really good amount of sunshine right here. So we're going to capture that with these beds. And then we're starting to work on this space here. We're turning the soil over and getting this ready for all of the things that like to grow in the shade. As you can see that is shady. And same thing over here. I have a bunch of stuff that doesn't mind the shade. That's all beginning to grow. We got lavender there, delphinium, foxglove. We got some phlox. And lemon balm seems to do very well in the shade. So I am very happy about that because I use that for teas and for tinctures and a lot of different things. And it also keeps bugs away. It smells like citronella. That's the very first plant that I started with in the garden, that rhododendron. So that's the grandfather. I don't think, I didn't know what I was doing then. I did put it in a spot that gets a little bit too much shade. I think it would like more sun, but I didn't know what I was doing then. But now I do, but I'm not gonna move it. It's just gonna stay there because it's growing, it's doing good. So I chopped this up pretty good. I did the wrong thing with it. I can tell you what not to do with an alyssum, and that is cut it back. It doesn't need to be cut back. It takes care of itself. Some plants need to be cut back and some don't. The foxglove, that needs to be cut back. And the columbines, they need to be cut back. So this is all the New Year's growth of the columbine, and you have to cut back all of the old growth to the ground, and then you'll get the new growth. The alyssum doesn't work that way. You don't need to cut it back. So I cut it back by accident because I didn't know. And now this is the second year of it recovering from that terrible thing I did to it. This used to be a beautiful very symmetrical mound. It was like perfectly round and gorgeous, and now it's all lumpy and lopsided. So I'm hoping that it eventually corrects itself over time. I've even had to widen this around here because it just grows and grows and gets bigger and bigger every year, and I've taken some parts of it. Maybe that's a piece I took to transplant it. Maybe that's what I have to do to reshape it, is transplant some more of it to other parts of the garden. So we have some seedlings that are going to come up over here. I have some 4 o'clocks that are coming up that I'm going to transplant. There was a 4 o'clock plant here last year, and it dropped its seeds, and I collected a lot of the seeds, but a lot of the seeds made their way, and I leave them that way. Like, I don't collect all the seeds. I let nature do its thing. And then because I know in the spring I will have seedlings to transplant, so I'll have all these little things. I'm going to put them in a pot, let them grow. Do I have any more? I don't see any more, but they'll be popping up a whole lot. There's one back there, and that's delphinium, likes the shade back here. And there's my irises we're waiting for. Over here, greening in real nicely, is this mullein, and I think it's time to start collecting these leaves to dry them out. This is medicine for bronchitis and different kind of colds and flu, and feverfew is right here. This is what I use for migraine headaches, along with looking at pretty flowers. Here's some tulips growing, and over there is the echinacea just starting to come in, real nice. This is another plant that you cut all the way back to the ground after it's done growing. You can see that was last year's growth. I wait till they die off pretty good, and then I completely remove them or try to cut them lower. Sometimes it's not easy to get in here, but now that it's all growing in like this, I gotta clean that up. But this comes back every year, bigger and bigger, and you can split this up, take some of these, this doubling it does, and plant them other places in your yard if you wanted to. That's what I've done with all this mint. Mint, like, really multiplies like crazy, and I keep it contained in these containers. I've learned my lesson over the years with mint, that I don't let the mint grow anywhere in the ground because it will spread. So it stays in these containers, and I keep them contained. We got the valerian root coming back. That's a very fast grower, and it dropped seeds that have regrown, and I have been transplanting these, and I'll show you. There, all of that right there is a regrow of the valerian root. So so all of these will grow into that. This is the 3rd year of that, and I call it valerian root. It's valerian plant, but I'm going to harvest the root, and you just harvest pieces of it. But it's the 3rd year of it, so now I think there's enough of it there. I didn't want to take anything in the first couple of years. I may even still leave it continue to grow before I start harvesting, because I don't really need it yet. I'm able to still get the valerian from other herbal sources, but it's good to know that I have it here for myself if the time ever comes that I do need it. So let's see, moving on. We got the bee balm coming in there, and oh, so much stuff growing here. I'm gonna do another video. This video is getting too long, so I'm gonna end it here, and we're gonna sign off for now. We'll give you an update in the next video how everything's doing. Hope you have a great day. Thank you. Bye.